Much Ado About Nothing is one of Shakespeare's great comedies, and despite the title, there is a great deal of something all throughout the play, something most people consider pretty important, falling in love. Best of all, the Bard's Classic is coming to an outdoor venue near you very soon. Mark Hughes-Cobb and Michael Witherell are here from the Rube Mechanicals to tell me more about it. Michael, did I say your last name correctly?
Yes.
Nice, first try.
Score.
Guys, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks, man.
Glad to be here.
And you're playing one of the great roles in Shakespeare, Claudio. Tell us about that experience and how Mark's messing it up for you.
Well,
In every way possible.
not messing it up. He's
He has to say that. We're still doing this show.
Claudio. So this is my third time playing Claudio.
Oh, wow.
I've done one stage reading and then one stage production, full-blown production, and then this is my third time doing it. And one of the interesting things about Claudio is you have to create a character that is both hurt and denouncing the person that he's in love with. So
Right.
he at one point during the show, he ends up believing that his future wife was cheating on him, and so he denounced her at the wedding. And how do you create a character that is both empathic with the audience, yet also can be aggressive enough in order to denounce Hero? And so that's kind of been my struggle throughout the process, is to make a character that you can love and empathize with, but also be mad at because he's been tricked by one of the other Don John.
A likable jerk.
A likable
He has to
jerk.
be a likable jerk.
And that sounds incredibly sophisticated, but at the same time, to me, and this is just, you know, I'm no Shakespeare expert, this is almost sort of like the romantic comedy scripts that we see so often play out now.
It is.
Two people that don't like each other, I'm never falling in love, fight, and as they fight and quibble back and forth, the sparks begin to fly.
Yeah. That's Beatrice and Benedict. Claudio and Hero are the young lovers who fall in love at first sight and have all the trouble. Beatrice and Benedict are the older lovers who are re-meeting, and Beatrice is his beloved's cousin, and they're all meeting together at this lovely estate, and their sparks fly, and then the other sparks fly, the old sparks. These guys trick this guy and the other woman into recognizing their love for each other, and so that's a big part of the play, as well as this whole thing about thinking your lover's cheating on you and then denouncing her to death. Likable jerk.
Yeah.
Accent on jerk. No, that's a big part of what Much Ado is about. It's all the interplays of how people fall in love and how they struggle to get to that place where they can accept and be vulnerable to it.
And Mark, and I always confuse myself with this show, your role, which one are you playing?
Benedict.
Benedict, okay.
Benedict is the smart Alec
Right.
who swears he will never marry, swears he'll never fall in love with any woman, while of course, he is madly in love with Beatrice. And the same with her. They're both very sharp-witted. They're the prototype for so many romantic comedies you're talking about, like The Moonlighting, Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd. Except I think Beatrice is probably a lot sharper than Sybil Shepherd in that show.
There you go.
Personal Sybil.
And one of the neat things about this, and anytime you get to enjoy Shakespeare this way, when it's performed out of doors, it has a special ambiance lends itself to it.
We just got to the park last night, and it was beautiful out. It was gorgeous. And we were out under the stars. We're by the river, and except for the occasional tugboat, it's very atmospheric. Wasn't it? It was nice last night, right?
Yeah, last show we did Winter's Tale at the end of May.
Last month.
And last month with Rube Mechanicals. And during the middle of our Saturday show? I think it was Saturday show. We had somebody who was bow fishing out on the lake, so we had somebody running around bow fishing behind the middle of the show, and so we're in the middle of the show, and there's somebody churning around there, and
And I think he was curious. He wanted to see what was going on, so he got a little closer and a little closer. And I finally turned around and went, Can you give us a little help with the engine there?
Right.
It's atmospheric. That's what we call it.
The Arts in Alabama. Guys, looking forward to it. Break away. You can catch Much Ado About Nothing June 26th through the 29th in the park at Manderson Landing. It will be very atmospheric. The pre-show music begins at 8 p.m. If it rains, the show moves to Rowan Johnson Hall on the UA campus, room 236. You can find out more by calling 205-310-5287 or on Facebook. Just search for the Rube Mechanicals, and best of all, it is free. Well, the